What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of Sunday Seconds. I'm your host, Brandon Mitchell. Listen, this is where we're short on time but big on truth. We are so glad that you guys decided to hang out with us today. And, man, this has been an incredible Sunday. Y'all know we got Pastor Paul in the house, too, man. He
Excited.
He was fired up. He's excited because he didn't get to preach this message, and so he just came with his message. He's just going to preach it to y'all today.
No.
So y'all going to get his version. This week, we started a new series called Killing Saul. And so just to clarify for some of you what that really means, not that we are promoting murder or, anything like that, but that there is a Saul man, right? We all have a Saul, a past, a person, a persona, an identity that oftentimes needs to be crucified, maybe is a word that we could use.
Well, I mean, Paul, he talks about dying daily.
Yeah.
So
I am crucified with Christ, I no longer live, right? But the old him, but the new him, the resurrected, the redeemed him did live. And so in his situation, God went as far as to change his name.
Yeah.
So, he went from Saul to Paul.
Yeah.
You're already Paul. What would happen?
Guess I'd be Saul.
Would you
go?
Paul. Like, I don't even have a biblical name, so I don't know,
I got two.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know, like, what name would the Lord give me? Like, if I could get a name, I don't know. Maybe I look forward to just getting to heaven and going, hey, give me my new name.
I think you're a Philip. You look like a Philip.
I don't know. A Philip with 2 L's or one? No.
What's
up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of Sunday Seconds. I'm your host, Brandon Mitchell. Listen, this is where we're short on time. We got some technical difficulties going on there.
Sorry about that.
Apologize. That's a great voice, though.
It is. You sound great. There it is.
There it goes. So I remember being in high school. We went to Southwood at the same time. Yeah. But didn't hang out.
No. You were serving Jesus.
Yeah. I was trying to live for the Lord, and so I didn't hang out with people like Pastor Paul back then. I didn't really hang out with anybody because nobody was serving Jesus in Southwood. Now that I'm thinking about it, very few.
FCA folks. Was really small.
Yeah, very few
like
folks.
One person in there. I think.
Cowboys for Christ. Membership 6 people.
One of those was a sponsor.
But I remember being in Spanish class. I took Spanish and French, and in Spanish class, they wanted you to have a Spanish name. I don't know if you took Spanish class.
Mateo. That was my Spanish name for Matthew.
You gotta be kidding me. That was my Spanish name because there was no name for Brandon
so they
in
just
Spanish.
gave you Mateo?
Yes. So she called me.
Wow.
I was literally fixing to say, they didn't even have, they were like, Brandon, no, there's nothing. We're going to call you Mateo. So how funny.
I'm going to start calling you that.
We were the same people in Spanish class.
Yeah,
how cool would it? See, you obviously weren't in my Spanish class because they couldn't have called us both Mateo.
No.
But real story.
Was it the tall, real tall lady with blonde hair?
No, I had the short lady.
I won't tell you the nickname we had for her.
I had the short Hispanic lady. She came in and
I didn't have her.
I can't remember her name. So I had Spanish and French. I actually had French first class and Spanish second class.
Man.
Yeah, and so fortunately there was grace for me. I remember going to the is that the counselor or what's the person that you go see that tells you?
Yeah.
You had to go sit down in the office. Yeah, I had to go sit down in the office with the counselor, and it's in my junior year, and I'm finishing junior year, and she's like, "Hey, you plan on going to college?" And I said, "Well, I was thinking about it." And she's like, "We haven't taken any foreign languages." She said, "And most colleges require 2 years of foreign language." I'm like, two years? I got 1 year left. And she said, "Well, there's a workaround. You can actually take 2 languages in 1 year, and it will accredit as 2 credits of foreign language." And then I went to East Texas Baptist University, didn't need near one of them. So there you go.
My counselor never asked me if I plan on going to college. They weren't too worried about my credits. They just wanted me to get a diploma.
Your counselor was like, "Are you planning on leaving?"
Yeah.
We just want to know.
Are you planning on graduating?
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how that happened. It has absolutely nothing to do with this Sunday at all.
No.
Just
That's
kind of letting you guys in
Little
on some background.
Yeah.
That Pastor Paul and I go back that far.
Yep.
That would be 1993.
Yeah, I graduated in '94.
Yeah, so I graduated in 93. He graduated in 94. So, and he's still older. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually,
Nope.
I'm actually slightly older. Not much. But okay, so we started a new series, Killing Saul, just getting rid of the old man and really putting off some of those old ideas. And really, I love the idea of talking about killing Saul, because Saul is not a guy who was like living for the world. He was living for the Lord.
Yeah.
So the things he had to put off weren't earthly things or worldly things. They were religious preferences.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about, and I really feel like this series really dropped in my heart whenever we took some time off, praying about where we're going,
Yeah.
you know, as a church, and just kind of the vision and things, and even things that I've wrestled with,
Yeah.
you know, that what have I been so zealous for that
Yeah.
is where I've connected God, like doctrinally, but maybe it was really a preference, or it's tradition that I've made sacred,
Yeah.
but is not really, and I can't carry that forward, because
Yeah.
where God's bringing me personally or us as a church, just like Saul, you know, to be so zealous for the Lord and was certain he was right.
Oh, man, certain to the point of stoning folks.
Yep, certain that this was right and this is wrong.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a Saul in all of us when
Yeah.
it comes to you know, just our expectations and traditions of church and worship. So like last week was worship,
Yeah.
this past Sunday, which I thought was great. You know,
Yeah.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
You know, and just where church has kind of gotten to, especially, you know, not to be super critical of the American church, it's great. I feel like God's doing some amazing things there, but we'd be naive to not address the, and I'm not even going to say it's the congregation, the
Yeah.
parishioners that have. I think it's more that responsibility is on us,
Yeah.
pastors and leaders in the church over the last few decades. I think out of good intention, went a direction to, and you know, Pastor John said something today in teaching team that's so good, that change tempts you to question whether or not what you were doing is wrong.
Yeah.
But a lot of times change has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
It's just God's bringing us somewhere different.
Yeah, just different.
It's just different.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to be like critical of everything, because I think there's been so many wonderful things. I mean, lots of people have gotten saved and
Yeah.
touched and ministered to. But there's been this, I think, culture emerging in the American church that has attached what this is all about to the wrong things.
Yeah.
And so I think the Holy Spirit is shaking that a little bit.
Yeah.
Not because he's mad, it's because, man, there's some more things that I'm bringing the church to,
Yeah.
and you're not going to be able to carry this into that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, this is going to be resisting
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
of these things, and you could miss it because you just refuse to let go of some of the things that he wants to, you know, shake out of our lives. So that's kind of I think the heartbeat behind that. Just kind of explaining that and unpacking that. So we're going to hit on
Some stuff.
some stuff.
Some stuff. Look, if you
We're going to hit on some stuff,
you
and we're
don't
not
wanna
super
miss the
excited
next few
about it.
Sundays. We hitting some stuff, y'all. We in the stuff.
Yeah, and a super loving and just, but we are just committed to want to be the church that Jesus wants
Yeah.
us to be, and so that's for LWC.
Yeah.
That's for me personally.
Yeah.
The follower, the Christian, and so I thought this past week on worship was great. The text, Acts 17, the setting.
Yeah.
You know, couldn't have been more even
Yeah.
for today. Standing in the Areopagus, the arena
Yeah.
in Athens,
Yeah.
you know, where it was a place of entertainment. Ideas are debated,
Yeah.
and politics is debated, and all these things, and that's where they all went.
Yeah.
every day to just listen
Yeah.
and hear new thoughts, new ideas.
It was the modern day podcast.
It was, and to challenge it.
Yeah.
And so it was usually the winner of those debates
Yeah.
was the best communicator, the most charismatic personality. It was dictated by the applause of people, not necessarily by real truth.
Just
A lot of philosophy.
ability.
It was ability and how could I move the crowd,
Yeah.
and that would sway,
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the setup for that. This week was, I think, really good, and that is, I just want to be real. I think churches, leaders, pastors, if you're not careful, you slide over into the entertainment side of programming, and we can even get off in thinking that we're successful because of the applause of people,
Yeah.
and we're really only successful if we just do what Jesus told us to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, that's kind of, we want to take everybody on a journey of like, hey, let's kind of reframe our thinking and get back to some of the things that really matter. So, just the program we do, and the things that we do that are great, they got to be done great because we're stewarding it for Him,
Yeah.
not just for
The audience.
people to be attracted to something because of that.
Yeah.
Because that's just not sustainable.
Yeah. Well, and I love what Paul Mason said. He said, we've gotten it confused about who the audience is. That we come in and sit in the seat thinking we're the audience, but we're not the audience. He's the audience, and so we're not. This isn't. When we think this is for us, for our entertainment, for our
Right.
pleasure, for our benefit, for our liking, then we misplace, what this is all about. It's not about me, and and that's what this whole series is communicating. That ultimately, this is not about me. This is not about us. This is about Him and His work and His kingdom. And I love even that idea. And Pastor John, of course, is full of wisdom.
just
so
drops the mic
all
all the
day,
time.
all day in the teaching team today. But he even said, "Kingdom always communicated progress." And I wrote that down. And he said, anytime people talked about kingdom in the Scripture, it was always with the understanding that kingdom was all about growth. It was all about expansion. Like you just understood.
Yeah.
That. And growth requires change.
Yeah.
You can't grow without it. And we're going to talk even more about that this week, which is so good. But I thought about that even in the aspect of worship. I think about the things that won me. Think about the things that that met my need where I was in that season of life. And it's almost that mindset, that mentality, and our generation looks at the generation that was before us and says, why did you keep doing it that way for so long? I think about working for my grandfather for years when I was young. And I was probably 15, 16 years old. Touch-tone phones had been out for a long time. But in my grandfather's shop, we still had a rotary phone. Yeah.
If you mess it up, you got to start over.
Yeah. I couldn't page nobody on that. I couldn't beat nobody on the rotophone. And I remember, going to him one day, frustrated about the fact that I'd probably started over multiple times trying to call somebody to let them know their vehicle was ready to go or whatever. And it wasn't my grandfather was broke. I mean, I knew he was making plenty of money. I knew he had the resources. I said, Papa, that's what I call Papa. When we gonna get rid of this phone? Like, when we gonna get a touch tone phone? And he said, when that one stops working. And I thought, well, this is always probably going to work, but it might not be working as efficiently and as effectively. And I think sometimes in the church we can do the same thing. When you going to stop doing it? Well, when it stops working, well, it's probably always going to work.
Yeah.
But is it working effectively? Is it working efficiently? Is it working according to where we are right now?
Yeah.
Like,
it's good.
Back then when he was probably calling 3 people a day, when he got it, it worked great.
Yeah.
But when we got to call 100 people, we got to change the way we call them, or we're not going to get everybody called.
Yeah.
And so the same is true in the church. That yes, did this work? Yeah, it worked. It wasn't wrong. It worked great. But it might not work in this season. And if it does work, it may not work as well as we need it to work in order to do what God's called us to do. And
Yeah.
so I know change is difficult, change is hard. I remember being that young person sitting in that auditorium thinking, when are we going to change the music?
Yeah.
Like, when are we going to change the style? When are we going to change this? When are we going to change that? And now being that next generation and going, man, let's don't change. Let's
Yeah.
don't change too fast.
Yeah.
Let's don't, I like this. This is good.
Yeah. When are we going to sing this song again?
Yeah. When we
Yeah.
going to do Just As I Am? Can we get that on the list? Derek, Mikey, can we get Just As I Am on the list? Just the first and third, though. We don't want to sing the second. I don't know what's wrong with the second,
Yeah.
but we never sang that one where I was from. So,
Yeah.
but change is inevitable. But at the end of the day, when I stop thinking that it's about me, then does the change really matter?
Man, I've been so challenged. It's funny. I've been talking about this, and of course worship, and we talk about it. We try to not gimmicky, but just like drip who we are and like what we want what we dream this place
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That is pleasing to God.
Yeah.
And building people's faith and challenging people. And so we come in with an appetite of what we want church to do for me.
Yeah.
And you know what? There is an element of that. Like everybody that shows up, they're coming to meet Jesus.
Yeah.
And the Holy Spirit's moving and people's lives are being touched and changed. But man, you've been in it a little while. You have that encounter and you're kind of start chasing that.
Yeah.
And then your appetite really just turns to, man, I hope they sing my song. I hope such and such is preaching.
Yeah.
I hope, that all these things, that if it doesn't happen, I'm a little discouraged
Yeah.
because I didn't get my fix.
Here at LWC, that's Jess, by the way. Just
Yeah.
if y'all don't know.
Yeah.
I hope Jess is preaching. I hope Jess is singing. I hope Jess is doing it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Everybody comes
Yep.
like, it's everybody's favorite thing on the bar. Like
Yep.
Jess. We'll take some Jess with a side of Jess. Thank you. And the rest of us, we're just like the little extra stuff
Yeah.
that they serve on the side.
Yeah.
Just like the roast beef.
We're the potato salad
Yeah.
at the barbecue place. Only a few people really get the potato salad.
I think I'm more like the onions and the pickles. Like,
Yeah,
I don't even know if
yeah.
anybody's even going to get them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, just put some of
The
those on there. I
garnish.
might eat them. I might
I'm
throw
the
them away.
parsley.
I don't know.
That's
No,
good.
I agree. We do come probably hungry for the thing that satisfies us the most.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all guilty of that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
guilty of that. And really coming to a place where we go, when do we come hungry for what satisfies him?
Yeah.
And what does that look like?
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, we're wired to connect with him.
Yeah.
I think we find ourselves connecting with the programming, not necessarily just him. And I'm not saying like that, man, there's so many great people. Like I'm not calling out anything. And it's not because if I feel anything like it's been terrible. I just think it's a stirring of the Holy Spirit saying, hey, like it's the conversation with Jesus with the woman at the well.
Yeah.
She's so like, you say we worship here and like this. We say we worship here and like this.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Yeah.
And I just love his answer. It's like there's an hour coming
Yeah.
when none of that matters.
Yes, neither.
The Father seeking those that'll worship in spirit and truth, which, is really a simple way to say heart posture.
Yeah.
Like you can worship at that church with that music.
Mm-hmm.
You can worship with no music.
Mm-hmm.
You can worship with, and I will say this, there's a difference between like, I don't know if I should say that or not. Like, we want the gifts to be stewarded, and we want people to realize, man, God put a gift in you.
Yeah.
We want this to be amazing, but not because we've got to be the best at this
Yeah.
so that other people come here and not somewhere else.
Yeah.
And to be really honest, like that's been a vein in church growth and in some of the conversations you hear. is there's this emphasis put on being excellent at some of these performative things, children's ministry,
Yeah.
like things.
Yeah, it doesn't have to just be from the stage. It
But
could be back there.
like, do we not just want to have a great children's ministry because we want kids to fall in love with Jesus?
Exactly.
Like, do we want a great children's ministry because we're leaving a legacy to the next generation, and if we start them early,
Yeah.
they're going to grow up to be incredible men and women of God?
Yeah.
Or are we shaping it in a consumerism
Yeah.
where we got to have a great children's ministry, because if we don't, that church down the road has a great children's ministry,
Yeah.
and if we don't get great,
Yeah.
everybody's
they'll
going to
take
go
their
there.
kids down there. Yeah.
Like, there's been this mentality in the church world that we wouldn't say it's competitive, so what I'm not saying is that we should just not care and be
Oh.
apathetic. What I'm saying is
Yeah.
that the way that we steward this has got to be for Him.
Yeah.
Like, if God's given me a gift, I'm stewarding it not for the applause of people, but for the applause of heaven.
Yeah.
I want to make Him happy.
Yeah.
Excellent worship. We want to be excellent.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's okay when it's not polished.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're having meetings and like, why did this happen? And this, like, we got to have more drummers and all those kind of things. Is that from a motivation of, I'm afraid the people are going to leave? Or is that from a motivation of, we just want to be great stewards and
Yeah.
and we want to do something great for Him?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. I think just that idea that, again, when it's about Him, it's about bringing God our best, not necessarily bringing. And I don't want to use the word audience because I love what Paul said. You're not the audience. If
Yeah.
you're sitting here on a Sunday morning, you're not the audience. Like,
Yeah.
you're the community.
Yeah.
He's the audience.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we want to bring our best
Yep.
offering
Yep.
to the Lord.
Yep.
And our best is our best, whether that's in finances, whether it's in talent, whether it's, treasures, talent, and time, right?
Yep.
We want those to be the best things that we can bring to the Lord. But it takes that shift. It takes that mindset change to say, hey, this is all about you. And just taking it back to an old song there, by the way,
Yeah.
just going back to them old
Yeah.
songs. It's not about me.
Yeah.
But that's not the responsibility of just the people on the stage. It's the responsibility, and I love what Paul Mason said. He said, man, worship. And just to go back to that briefly, he made that statement. He said, everybody is a worshiper.
Yep.
If you didn't hear Sunday's message, I want to encourage you, go
Yeah.
back and listen to that.
Yeah.
When he said that, man, it's not this, it was like a new revelation, but it was fresh in the moment. I was like, okay, everybody's a worshiper. He said atheist, agnostic, believer, old, young, churchgoer, non-church churchgoer, everybody is wired to worship. And you're worshiping something. And man, the more I just sat with that throughout the day, Sunday, and thought, how much truth there is in that. That if you give me probably a few hours of your time or a day, I probably can put my finger on the thing that you worship and point it out, because it's going to be the thing you talk about probably the most. It's going to be the thing that gets you the most excited. It's going to be the thing that you probably put the most energy, resources, and time into. Like, we wouldn't call it that. Most people wouldn't say, oh yeah, I worship that. But everything you're doing is an act of worship where that thing is concerned. So first of all, he said everybody's a worshiper. I thought that was so good. But then he went on to say, but worship's not a spectator sport. You're not here to spectate. You're here to participate. And I know that can be challenging for people. Listen, I came up, and probably most people know, when I gave my life to the Lord, it was in a Baptist church. And, we talked that in the Baptist denomination as a whole has come a long way in worship. I want to say, from where I was when I got in to where we are now. I remember singing Al Denson, from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, the name of the Lord should be praised, and getting in trouble because we used our hands. Like, that's a real story. I'm not calling anyone out, just saying that was the culture.
Yeah.
Like, we don't do hand signals in church. And from that to, I joke because many of the songs that are sung in Baptist churches today are not from Baptist churches.
Yeah.
They're not being written by people who would identify as part of the Baptist culture denomination. That's just the truth. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, just saying that's the reality. But I remember coming from a place where worship was something that was led and orchestrated, and I did what you told me to do. I sang what you told me to sing. I sang as loud as you told me to sing. I sang as soft as you told me to sing. I only clapped if you said clap. Mm-hmm. And outside of what you directed me to do, I didn't do anything else because anything else was out of order. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I started going to non-denominational churches or assembly churches or whatever, and people were doing things
on their own.
On their own.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, y'all about to get in trouble up in here. But he didn't say raise your hands. You know, y'all clapping in here. He didn't nobody say clap, you know. And people were corporately yet individually worshiping. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be honest, Paul, it scared me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like being told your whole life as a child, don't do that. Mm-hmm. And then going to a place where somebody said, no, it's okay. You can do it here. Mm-hmm. No, I can't.
Yeah.
Because if my mom or dad find out, I'm gonna get it, right?
Yeah.
And I almost felt that way where God was concerned. Like,
Yeah.
No. I've been in church long enough to know we don't do this.
Yeah.
And so some of us, this is some of our LWC family, you come from maybe a similar, maybe not exact, but you come from a background where it just feels like I don't have the freedom you say I have. Mm-hmm. You're saying it's okay, but everything inside of me says, don't do it.
Yeah.
And I remember probably the first time I lifted my hands.
You thought they was getting ready to get slapped.
And I just thought, man, this feels unnatural and it feels uncomfortable, but I genuinely want to lift my hands to my Father.
Yep.
And of course now, you're gonna find me on the front row, and I'm gonna lift my hands. I'm gonna kneel. I'm gonna whatever. Without creating disorder, distraction. I don't grab the tambourine.
Thank you. It's kind of an inside joke, but
just
now it's public. We don't really want people bringing tambourines.
No, we bring I don't grab the tambourine, but I do take the opportunity in corporate worship to have individual moments of time with my Father.
Yeah.
And worship Him.
Yeah.
And honor Him and exalt Him. And I think if we can communicate anything, is that, hey, we want everyone to feel like they have that same freedom to come and worship the Lord in freedom and in truth, and just to know that, man, this is not something we're asking you to come watch. Mm-mm. We're asking you to come engage.
Yeah.
Engage God. Press into God. We talked about this, and I thought it was so good. I heard the guy, Georgia actually sent me a video of a guy that was preaching at a conference she was at, and he talked about the woman with the issue of blood. Mm-hmm. That it was her reach that created that moment. Mm-hmm. That every person that was there that witnessed her healing, witnessed it because of her reach.
Yeah.
Had she not reached, that moment wouldn't have happened, and Jesus would have just kept walking. He was on his way to do a miracle. Mm-hmm. But another miracle happened in their midst because a woman reached.
Yeah, it's good.
Not because she got permission to reach.
Yeah.
Not because somebody told her to reach, because she said, if I could just touch the hem of His garment, I could be healed.
Yeah.
And that's what we have the opportunity to come in and do each week, is to reach.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And I know we're going to have to wrap it up, but, honestly, we've treated Sundays like the start of the engine.
Yeah.
And so it's like our whole focus is everybody's coming in weary, off the weekend, getting ready to start a week. So we got to kind of rev up so you got some momentum. And that's fine. I come in sometimes like that. That's fine. Sometimes it is. But what would it look like if worship was a lifestyle And Monday through Saturday, I lived my life for him.
Yeah.
Sundays would actually be an overflow.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was really the intention.
Yeah.
That when we gather, the testimonies, the stories, the word that's being shared, the worship in the room is really just an overflow of a lifestyle that we're living.
Yeah.
So this isn't like just the mechanics of like a Sunday morning. It should be represented here, but it really is like how I treat God on a Sunday is probably very reflective of how I live for Him Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
I know you can fake it. Just because your hands are raised doesn't mean your heart's right. Matter of fact, I love this, and I sent this out. I didn't write this. A friend sent me this that someone else had posted. But it says, the longer I pastor, the more I'm convinced that one of the great mistakes of modern Christianity is that we keep arguing about traditional church versus contemporary church. This is not the deepest divide. The deeper divide is discipleship versus consumerism. You can build a consumer church with a worship band, stage, lights, coffee, and skinny jeans. You can also build one with hymnals, pews, choirs, suits, and a King James Bible.
Yeah.
Consumerism is not an aesthetic, it's a posture of heart. Consumerism asks, do I like the music? Do I like the preaching? Are there programs for my children? Do people dress the way I think they should? Does the church share my politics? Does this church make me comfortable?
Wow.
And when the answer becomes no, we start looking somewhere else. Discipleship asks an entirely different set of questions. Where can I serve? Who can I love? Where do I need to grow? What preferences do I need to surrender? And that's the killing Saul part, is like, I think what we've called doctrine, conviction, that we've set on, may just be preferences.
Yeah.
Because change is inevitable.
Yeah.
Right? And so, and then, how can I help carry the burdens of this community? Where is Jesus asking me to die to myself? The problem was never primarily organs versus guitars. The problem is that we have spent decades teaching Christians to evaluate churches as consumers rather than belong to them as disciples. And I think that's very well said.
Yeah.
About what we feel. And so this isn't an LWC thing.
This is
a rumbling in the Big C church. And there's people that are stepping out and changing those things. And so we're just trying to be stewards of what we feel and see as pastors shepherd our people towards where the Holy Spirit's bringing the church. We don't want to be left out. I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to be stuck in something that's good but not God's best. And so I think that's where we're headed, is being God's best for where we're going. And so it starts with our worship, our heart for Him, and then we've got some great things.
Got some Sauls to kill, y'all.
Yeah, we got some Saul mentality to bury, surrender.
So I've entitled my message for this Sunday, "No Thanks God, We're Full." So
that's great. I'm gonna use that. That's really good.
That's gonna be the subtitle for mine this week. No thanks, God, we're full.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a great Sunday. This is gonna be a great series.
It is.
This is one of those series that, and we talked about it right before we went live. There's not a lot of fluff. There's gonna be a lot of awkward moments. But those awkward moments are necessary. Those moments of tension are necessary to get to the place where we are in one accord, and even discovering what that means. So many great things coming out of this series. Here's what I love. I love knowing that we're willing to address the hard things and say, God, start with us.
Yep.
I love that about our teaching team. I love that about our leadership, is that we don't begin with, God, how can you change the congregation? But God, what do you need to change in us? And how can we begin to communicate that change that you're doing through us to the congregation? And so it's going to be a great Sunday. Man, we've got some heavy hitters out. I know Pastor John's preaching, you're preaching. You know, I'm the pickles and the onions on the end.
Whatever.
Is Jess preaching?
Yeah,
Jess was in the meeting.
Jess is in Mansfield.
Jess is in
We don't
Mansfield.
usually tell everybody where everybody's at.
Yeah,
but
we don't
Pastor
normally
Jess-
say it, but Mansfield's
Pastor-
gonna be real packed.
Yeah, Pastor. Yeah,
In
Pastor
fact,
Jess is in Mansfield.
yeah, we just heard everybody else. You're
Yeah.
like, where everybody at? Mansfield.
Yeah.
To get some Jess with a side
Yeah.
of Jess.
Yeah, that's right.
So, hey, thank you so much for taking time out of
Yeah.
your week, Pastor Paul. Obviously, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to be getting some other people in here, by the way. I know you guys are getting tired of just hearing from us, but we're gonna.
Yeah,
I've
keep
heard-
an eye out. We're gonna
I've heard.
kind of change some things up.
Yeah.
Enlarge the table a little bit
Yeah.
here and get some more voices.
Get some more voices.
More conversation.
So be looking for that. Thank you for taking time out of your week just to stop and listen. Whether you listen to us live or you're listening to us after the fact. Man, I hope that this is encouraging to you. I hope, if anything, it just takes what we talked about on Sunday and just sort of, again, reheats it, just kind of gives you something to chew on for another few days as you go about your week and as you kind of examine your life, as you question, you know, what am I worshiping? What am I giving my time, attention, and devotion to? And how can I come in ready to make him the audience each Sunday? So thank you for being here with us. Thank you for being a part. We love you. Hey, check out all of our stuff on Facebook, YouTube. Go back and listen to our messages. You can also hit our podcast. You can hear any of our communicators speaking from any of the weeks. If you go back and look at our podcast, you'll see that there's Mansfield, Stonewall, and Manny is on there.
Kashada will be soon, if it's not yet.
Soon.
Yeah, I think it should be. Yeah, so you can catch Kashada too.
Kashada's coming. It's coming. The podcast is coming.
I think so.
So it might already be up. We ain't even checked. We're going to go check that and look at it.
It's up. We just got work.
We just got confirmation.
So,
We just got.
Yep.
You can go back and listen to all 4 of them. And so, hey, we love you. Thank you so much for being a part. Hey, just remember, you guys are the world changers. So go change your world. We'll see you next week.